Hi everybody, welcome back to Arma Reforger, and yes, you can believe what you can see here. We're playing Arma Reforger and we are on the Chernarus map. In fact, this is ChernarusReforged. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is showing you how to install ChernarusReforged, the modded map on your community server, but also how to install a conflict scenario for it as well, so that you can actually play it. And I've had a quick look around with Game Master, and it does appear all of the things you would expect are here. So there's things like enemy AI that are defending objectives, and there's vehicles scattered around the place. Haven't seen any supply dumps, but that doesn't mean they're not here. And supply dumps are normally those green blobs that you can pick stuff up with and then go to a particular base, and that means you can build more stuff. So the mods we're going to be using are ChernarusReforged, which is the map by Necrowolf, and Chernarus Conflict 89 by Camping McGeehee, and that is the scenario we're going to be using. We're also going to be putting Where Am I as well. Now, with lots of these tutorials, I'm going to keep things very simple in terms of the number of mods we're going to be adding to our server. And then as you get more confident with adding mods and start to understand things like the problem solving when things go wrong, then you can make things more complicated. But I would say, especially when you start, just go easy. Right, so we're going to be using a Nitrado server as the example, and in fact, to make things really easy, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have the mod list and scenario ID in the description below this video. So I'm going to show you how to put that in, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to go into the game and go into the workshop and show you how you get these things. So when you go over to Nitrado, go to your server dashboard. And then you'll want to go to your configuration profiles, which will be this here. And then what you'll find is near the top, you'll find scenarioId. And if you look in the description below this video, you'll see a line to replace that with. So you can just copy and paste that over the top. And then also what you'll have on your server is you'll have something like this. So the mods section will probably look like this here, like that. Ooh, not quite like that. It will look like that. Okay, but again, in the description below this video, you'll see this whole version, which will include from the mods right down through to the where should I do it? I'll probably do it from the, I'll do it from mods down to the closing square bracket with the comma after it. And all you got to do is copy that code from the description below this video and paste it into your server. Hit save changes, restart the server, and your community server will then have Where Am I? So it'll show you where you're on the map, and it'll have ChernarusReforged and Chernarus Conflict 89. Remember to do the mods and remember to do the scenario ID at the top. What I recommend you do as well is once you've done that, go to configuration profiles and then type in, say, Chernarus Conflict and create a new config file. Now, when you do this, when you create this, it saves that config.json file, which means that you can come back to it at any time. So as you can see, I've got several here. I've got Conflict Basic Mods, Conflict Vanilla, WCS Conflict Everon, WS Conflict Kuna Province, including Scenario. So all I have to do is click on Restore, and the server will then restore that JSON, that config.json, and restart the server, and then allowing for certain things happening, the server will then be ready to go with a different map and or a different scenario as well. So it's very powerful. So that's what we got to do. You can do that and then go in the browser and you find the stuff. Remember, of course, to go through the settings and make sure you've got all the stuff set up. You want to have your server password. You want to set your admin password so that you can log in as a to get Game Master. You'll want to have crossplay. Of course, this is only for Xbox and PC at the moment, but hopefully PlayStation are going to get it soon. And just remember, when you want to log in as a admin, you just go on PC, you just go / and then you go #login space, and then you put your password in. On controller, I'm probably going to forget this. In fact, on controller, if you go into the settings and then go into controls, I think it's the first one. Yeah, it shows you what it is. So to open up chat, it's LB plus Y or whatever it will be on PlayStation when that happens. So if I go LB plus Y, there we go, chat's open. And then you edit it, and then you send it at the end, and then you can log in as admin. Because once you've got admin, that gives you access to Game Master. So especially if you're playing with friends, you can like spawn in. Well, you can move people around. You can't actually spawn stuff in because generally stuff's missing. But you can delete enemies to make things easier. There we go. So we can see at Green Mountain, there's an enemy squad wandering around, ready to cause me some trouble if they want to. Okay, so how do we get this code that we've seen already? So let's come back out of the game. Now, the scenario ID you could get from the official Arma Reforger workshop. So when you go to the online workshop, and again I'll put a link in the description below this video, and you find the here we go. You find the scenario ID you want. Let me turn that volume down a bit, like this. Read the description; it'll tell you kind of what's going on. It'll give you an idea of when it was published as well, and also whether it's been updated. So this has been updated very recently as to the time of recording this video, so 27th, 1st, 25. So chances are it's gonna work. And the scenario ID is under scenario. So you click on scenarios, and there it is. There's the scenario ID. So you can just copy that, and then you go to your server. Let's go to where were we? Config file. And then you paste it there in between the quotation marks. It's important to remember though that just having that scenario ID, that doesn't load the scenario completely because you still have to be subscribed to the mod. So the next thing is, okay, so where do you get the code for the mod for the JSON? Well, on PC the way that we do it is we go to multiplayer. No, we don't. We go to the workshop. We go to the mod manager. And go to mods first, and find the mods you want. So ChernarusReforged. There we go. So you would then subscribe to these. I think there's normally a download button you press, isn't there? And you download and then find the other one. So it was Chernarus Conflict. There we go. And then you would click on that, and then I can't remember where the download, but there is a download button normally, and you just get it downloaded. And then you go into the mod manager, and then you activate it. So you find them here, and you click on the little arrow to the right, and that will put them in your enabled section. So you can see I've enabled Chernarus Conflict 89, ChernarusReforged, and where am I? And then I click on this little jigsaw puzzle here. You go to JSON, and there they all are in the correct format, so I can just copy that to clipboard, go over to my server, and then in between the square brackets on the mods I can just copy and paste them. So we would just copy and paste them there. However, one of the things that I would recommend you do is you take out the version number. So instead of having the version number there, you get rid of it and just have the 2 quotation marks. That means it'll always use the latest version. Now this may lead to incompatibility problems. Let's say the Chernarus Reforged map is updated and like a hill is put somewhere where one of the objectives on Chernarus Conflict was. That might cause a problem, but the advantage of not having the version number, as far as I see it anyway, is the fact that when you load into the game, if you if you're relying on an older version of a mod, the game's gonna have to download that older version if it's already updated. So I think this is probably a better way to do it. I think, until I'm proven it otherwise, or someone says actually it's much better to do it this way, I think you're probably better off doing that. Now, if you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I'm on console, I'm on PC, I'm on Xbox or PlayStation when it comes available, and we don't have access to this. Well, how do we do it? Well, basically, if you look in the description below this video and you see the mod section, you'll see the format that the mods are in. So you have open squiggly bracket, mod ID, and then you have the mod ID and the name and the version number. If we go to the workshop here, where are we? So this is ChernarusReforged. There's the mod ID there. So that's the number we would need, or you can hit copy. So as long as you set up the mod like this with open squiggly bracket mod ID, and then paste in that number and put a name, and you can just write the name in, and then the version you just leave like that and paste that in, you'll be good. Just remember, if you look at the mods, so we've got 3 mods here, so the first 2 mods have a comma after the last squiggly bracket, but the last one doesn't, and that's kind of the way that it works. But because this is done so easily, and the fact that the server loads its mods itself, if you do make a mistake and you have used the config profiles to create a vanilla version of this, you can go back to it. What I'll do in the description below this video as well is I'll put a link to the official Bohemia Interactive wiki page about this, where it has an example config.json, so that if you get it wrong, you can go back to. You can always just reinstall the server though if you get really stuck. But again, I highly recommend that you use config profiles, so that once you've got a config set up and you know it works, save it so that you can go back to it. And I'd imagine my server probably in a few weeks will have dozens and dozens of these configs saved, so I can quickly jump between Chernarus, Kuna, Everon, Ireland, and all that different sort of thing. So there we go. Hopefully that's a little bit of help. And all the things that we're doing here, all the techniques we use, they all apply to doing other stuff as well. But just remember, keep it simple. Get the map working first, get the scenario working first, and then start thinking about adding other mods afterwards. Okay, that's enough from me. Hope you found this useful. If you have, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And of course, I'll see you again soon.